The crystalline structures of Deathworlders' capital city hummed with desperate energy as Ambassador SciFi transmitted their final plea into the void. The melodic tones of their language, usually reserved for poetry and philosophy, now carried only terror. To any who received this transmission, SciFi sang through their bioluminescent throat sacs, "The hegemony advances on our world. We are a peaceful species. We know only art, music, and contemplation. We have no weapons, no soldiers, no concept of warfare. If there exists mercy in this galaxy, please." The transmission cut short as plasma bombardment began raining down on their crystal spires. The hegemony had found them. For 3 cycles, the Deathworlders had watched their neighbors fall to the expanding empire. The hegemony's philosophy was simple: subjugate or exterminate. Species that couldn't defend themselves were harvested for resources and slave labor. Those who resisted were simply eliminated. The Deathworlders fell into the first category. Their crystalline cities, grown over millennia through harmonic resonance, shattered under kinetic bombardment. Their people, evolved from peaceful herd creatures on a garden world, had never developed aggression. They could only flee and hide as hegemony dropped ships deployed across their continents. SciFi huddled in the ruins of their observatory, clutching the quantum radio that had carried their plea to the stars. Around them, the haunting death songs of their people echoed through the crystalline caverns. They had tried to surrender, tried to offer their knowledge and art in exchange for survival, but the hegemony commander had laughed. "Your culture will make excellent decorations in my personal quarters," General Vax then had sneered, his 4 eyes glowing with predatory satisfaction. "After we process your bodies for nutrients, of course." Then the stars began to sing back. The first sign was the hegemony ships in orbit suddenly going silent. No more bombardment, no more communication with ground forces. The drop ships that had been landing in waves simply stopped. SciFi pressed their auditory organs against the quantum radio, barely believing what they heard. The transmission was crude, harsh, nothing like the elegant harmonics of civilized species. But the meaning was clear. "This is Captain Rodriguez of the Terran Defense Fleet. We received your distress call. Hegemony forces, you have exactly 60 seconds to withdraw from this system before we demonstrate why Earth is classified as a Class XII death world." SciFi had never heard of Earth or Terrans. The hegemony, apparently, had. General Vaxthen's panicked voice crackled over commandeered channels: "Impossible. The Deathworlders were quarantined. The Galactic Council sealed their system. The Council fell last month," came the humans' reply, emotionless as the void. "We're not quarantined anymore." 30 seconds. What followed defied everything SciFi understood about warfare. The humans didn't use energy weapons or sophisticated technology. They used kinetic projectiles, chunks of metal accelerated to relativistic speeds. Simple, brutal, effective. The hegemony's energy shields, designed to deflect plasma and particle beams, were utterly useless against solid matter traveling at significant fractions of light speed. Entire warships simply ceased to exist, converted to expanding clouds of superheated gas. Within minutes, a fleet that had terrorized half the galaxy was reduced to debris. The ground forces fared no better. The humans descended in crude metal boxes, emerging in environmental suits that looked primitive compared to hegemony equipment. But they moved like predators, coordinated like a pack mind, and fought with a ferocity that made hegemony warriors, bred for conquest, turn and flee. SciFi watched through the ruins as human soldiers systematically hunted down every hegemony trooper on their world. No quarter was given. No prisoners were taken. When a hegemony squad tried to use Deathworlders as shields, the humans simply shot through them, accepting their own casualties to eliminate the threat. It was over in 4 hours. Captain Rodriguez's ship landed near the ruins of SciFi's observatory. The human who emerged was smaller than expected. Most species pictured Deathworlders as giants. But there was something in her movements, a controlled violence that made SciFi's survival instincts scream warnings. Your transmission reached us 6 days ago, Rodriguez said, her voice carrying easily in the thin air. We came as fast as we could. I'm sorry we weren't faster. Kethvi trembled, uncertain whether to thank their saviors or flee from them. Why, they managed to sing. Why help us? Rodriguez removed her helmet, revealing a face that somehow managed to be both kind and terrifying. Because, she said simply, bullies piss us off. The humans departed as quickly as they had arrived, leaving behind only a quantum beacon and a simple message, call if you need us again. Kethvi stared at the beacon for a long time, understanding finally why the galaxy had quarantined these creatures. They were too dangerous to be allowed among civilized species. But sometimes, civilization needed monsters to protect it from worse things in the dark.